words of inspiration and love. Oh, how we live and what we say, it's Stampin' Up and it's our way.
Hi everyone, it's Pauline from Stamp with Pauline, Stampin' Stampede, and today for our Craft at Home kit class we are using the stamp set Pretty Birds. Now some have swapped out the Pretty Birds and they will be using the leaves of holly. So there's the dies and the leaves as well. So we have leaves of holly, but most of you have actually opted for the Pretty Birds. So what I'm going to show you is how to make the cards using the Pretty Birds, and I've intertwined with some of the leaves of holly dies and vice versa. So there's lots of mixed variety in this kit for you to work out at home at your own pace. Okay, so what you're going to need your stamp set. You are going to need your dies. You're going to need your dimensionals, your snips possibly, yes, and your adhesive, and I've got some mini glue dots as well. So you'll also need your champagne rhinestones, which are in your kit as well. All right, so let's get started with the supplies you will need for this card. You will have a base card layer of soft suede. You will have a layer of pretty in pink cardstock. You will also have some of the textured chic designer series paper, one with the shells on it. You will also cut out using your early espresso. You have a piece of this in your kit. You will need to cut out a bird cage, and I've also included 3 of the leaves for you as well from the leaves of holly die. All right, so what you're going to do first of all to start with is actually let me just go over this quickly first as well. What you've got is a piece of A4 very vanilla cardstock. This you are going to stamp your words on, your greeting, and you're also going to stamp your birds as well. And I'll get to the stamping part in a minute, and I'm using for all of my greetings are coming from the Happiness Abound stamp set that, again, if you've previously bought this kit, you will have this. If not, you can get that. So we'll just pop the stamping part aside for a second. In your kit, you will also have the Early Espresso ribbon as well. So hold on to that. We're going to make a bow to go on this card as well. First thing you need to do is take your snips, take your designer series paper, and what you're going to do is, I'm just sort of eyeballing it. I'm going to go into about the middle of my designer series paper and folding out from the end to the center point, and then doing the other one as well. And then taking my multi-purpose adhesive, what I'm going to do is on those 2 triangles, just glue that down. Give that a second to hold, and then repeating the same on the other piece and glue that down. Now what we're going to do is glue this piece of designer series paper to our layer of pink, and I'm just leaving a border on all 3 sides. Then taking that and gluing that to our base card. Just make sure I've got my card up the right way and pop that down, and just going to add a little bit of adhesive just to that little edge there. Have a baby wipe handy in case you smush out your glue. All right, next thing we're going to do is glue down our bird cage. Now with the bird cage, all I'm doing is adding a little bit of adhesive. And what I do with my multi-purpose is I just give it like a little sweeping sort of motion, and I'm just going to go over. So I'm just trying not to squeeze too hard. I don't want that glue to smush out. I'm just going ever so gently. In one of the other cards we get to, I have actually added the adhesive sheeting to it, so that it does make it a little easier to stick these pieces down if you do have the adhesive sheeting on. Okay, so that goes there. Then what I'm doing is I'm going to use the foam strip for this one, and I'm just going to break that in half, and I'm going to secure that to either side, because what I want with this one is to keep all of my pieces inside my leaf. I don't want it to be an outline leaf. I've opted for a whole leaf, and I'm going to place that leaf like so, and then press it down, give it a bit of a hold. Next one. And holding that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take my ribbon, and for this what I found easier is if I leave the ribbon attached to the spool, bring it up, make your two little ears, fold it over, in through the loop, let it unravel itself, tighten it off, and then pop down like that, and then taking the snips, cut away the excess, give it a tweak, just take a little bit more off that end, and then I'm going to use some mini glue dots for this, and stick 3 mini glue dots on the back of my just on the back of the bow. I'm just using ones left over from a kit, but if you've got them on a reel out of the box, it does make it a little easier. So I'm just using these up. If you don't have any mini glue dots, you can actually use some of your tear and tape as well. Okay, so popping down my bow, and taking some of my rhinestones, pop those down. Alrighty, so the next part of this is to do some stamping. So grab some blocks. You'll need about 3 blocks for this one, and you will need to grab hold of your bird. Get over there. Alright, so I'm going to do 1 bird that way and 1 bird in the other direction, and then you will also need the insides of your birds as well, so we'll get to that in a minute. What I'm doing is I'm going to be using the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm using Melon Mambo, and I've also got a So Saffron pen. So for my inside line, I'm doing the Flirty Flamingo, but for my outside line, I'm doing the Melon Mambo. So for my outline edge, stamp that down and stamp him again. Okay. Then take Flirty Flamingo. Oh, forgot my other little dude. I've done 2 of one and I didn't do the other one. Hang on, let me just go and do him. Do another one just for good measure. Alright, so that's that. So you want your 2 little birds, and then for the inside pieces, you will actually have, there's 2 little, they look a bit weird sort of shape, if you can see those, and that actually fits on our little bird like so. Now you can choose, I'll show you what it looks like full strength, but if you don't like full strength, you can actually opt for a, I'm just trying to see without getting too close into the camera. Let me just come this way for a sec. No. Yep. And then I'll show you what it looks like not full strength. So I'm just going to stamp off, and then I'm going to position. So you get 2 different shades of little bird there, and then I'll just grab another block for. So now you're going to look for this part of his head, and we're going to ink and stamp that down, and then I'm going to stamp off, and that's just to show you the difference between the 2. Okay, so it's entirely up to you which way you want your little bird to go. And now we're going to color in this one. So now grab hold of this one and stamp that and line that up. And I'll just do another one stamped off so you can see again the difference. So that is that little bird. Okay, so let me just give those a clean. And then we need to do the inside of the bird, and you will find in your stamps, you'll have this little strange looking piece, and I'm going to stamp off on this one and do the inside so you can see that, and then I'll give this one the full strength one just to mix and match. Pop that down. So there we have our little birdie. Okay. So work out your birds. They are a little bit tricky sometimes, working out which one goes with which piece. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is take my So Saffron, and I've gone with So Saffron because it's more of a browny sort of yellow, and I'm going to use my tip end, and I'm going to colour in any of the pieces that actually didn't get. So if you've missed any of your bird, don't worry, because adding a little bit of the So Saffron ink just makes it a little bit different anyway. So I wasn't really that concerned with how it looked. So just grab any yellowish marker or brown marker and give them a little bit of detail. Just colouring in the feet the same. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of brown, or yellow, sorry, to the wings and the tip. Just found it actually made a little bit of a detail to the bird, like my little budgie's colouring, and then his little feet, and that crest above his beak I'm just making a little darker on each of those. All right, now what we're going to do is take our dies and we're going to cut those out. Okay, so now I have our little birds done. What we're going to do is grab our dimensionals, pop one on each of our birds, and I have also gone ahead and stamped best wishes, and I'm going to attach that just using some liquid glue. I've just trimmed off on an angle on the side, and I'm just going to slide in my best wishes up here, and then I'm going to hook on one of my little birds there and one of my little birds down here, and that is our card. So hope you like that. Have a go at it, see how you go. All right, see you on the next one. Bye.
What we love, what we do, makes a difference in me and you. All these years of inspiration and love.